The road begins where maps surrender, where ink can no longer pretend to know the land. It stretches forward, scarred and patient, a witness that does not speak. A convoy moves along its spine, not marching, not fleeing, but carried by a gravity made of grief. Engines breathe low, as if afraid to wake the past. Dust rises and clings to everything. Skin, cloth, memory, names. It settles into eyelashes and makes the world look permanently tired. Each vehicle is a small universe of loss. Inside, silence sits shoulder to shoulder with prayers never taught in any language. Suitcases hold less than they should, yet weigh more than bones. Children stare through cracked windows with eyes older than their faces. They have learned how to wait without knowing what for. They have learned how not to ask. Mothers cradle absence as carefully as they once cradled infants. Their arms remember weight that no longer arrives. Their voices stay ready, just in case. Fathers look ahead because looking back would break them. Their hands grip steering wheels, rosaries, broken promises. Maps lie folded like useless apologies. The road accepts them all. It has accepted worse. Blood dries faster than tears here. Grief does not shock the stones anymore. Somewhere behind them, houses stand with open mouths, doors swinging gently like unanswered questions. Walls still know the names of those who slept against them. Somewhere behind them, the sound of laughter has gone feral, wandering fields without owners. Even echoes have fled. The sky watches from a careful distance. Clouds move as if instructed not to interfere. The sun shines out of habit, not mercy. At night, the convoy glows faintly. Small lights stitched into darkness. A trembling constellation trying to remain visible. Stars above refuse comparison. Sleep comes in fragments. Dreams arrive without context, leave without meaning. People wake unsure whether they are still themselves. Names are whispered, then swallowed. To speak too loudly is to risk remembering too much. Silence becomes a shared language. Time behaves strangely here. Minutes stretch like hunger. Years collapse into moments. Everyone is both too late and too early. There are stories inside the convoy that will never be told properly. Words would fracture under their weight. Truth is not always meant to survive translation. Some pray for return. Some pray for arrival. Some pray simply to feel less hollow. Even doubt kneels here. The convoy passes fields where grass grows despite history. Nature is not cruel. It is simply obedient to continuance. Shoes wear thin. Hope wears thinner. Yet still the wheels turn. Still the engines breathe. Still the living insist. A child laughs once. Brief, surprised, as if the sound escaped accidentally. Adults freeze, then soften, then remember how to breathe. That laugh travels the length of the convoy, light as forgiveness. It does not last, but it is real. That is enough. Morning returns again. It always does. Light spills over faces like an unwanted reminder. You are still here. The road narrows. The future does not explain itself. But the convoy moves forward, not because it believes, but because stopping would mean becoming part of the dust. And somewhere ahead, not promised, not guaranteed, there is a place where tears are allowed to fall without being counted. Until then, the convoy continues, carrying the unbearable with trembling hands, teaching sorrow how to walk without surrender. The road does not answer questions, but it listens. Every mile absorbs another confession, another memory pressed flat by motion. Feet touch ground at rest stops, but the ground does not recognize them. It is foreign earth, cold with indifference, unimpressed by survival. Water is shared carefully, as if generosity itself might run out. Bread is broken into unequal halves, then broken again until fairness becomes an act of faith. An old woman hums a song no one remembers the words to. The melody survives alone, like a bone found after fire. Everyone understands it anyway. There are moments when grief lifts only slightly, enough to let a thought of tomorrow enter without being chased away. Hope is shy here. It knocks once, then waits. The convoy passes ruins that look like they are still deciding whether to fall completely. Walls lean on memories for support. A boy asks his mother if roads ever end. She tells him yes, then looks away, unsure where that ending lies. Night arrives heavier than before. Darkness pools beneath the vehicles, thick and listening. Fires are not lit. Stars are enough even when they feel distant. Someone cries quietly, the kind of crying that does not want comfort, only release. No one interrupts. Respect grows in silence. The past tries to overtake the convoy, running alongside, breathless, demanding to be seen. But the wheels keep turning, and memory falls behind, aching but alive. Dawn breaks like an apology that comes too late. Faces glow briefly, as if touched by another life. Eyes open again to endurance. The convoy has learned its own rhythm. Lost steps in time with survival. Grief no longer shouts. It walks beside them, tired but faithful. Somewhere ahead, even uncertainty waits. And still, with cracked hands and unsteady hearts, the convoy moves on, not because the tears have ended, but because they have learned how to carry them forward. The land begins to change its posture, rising slightly as if to observe them better. Hills gather their shadows early, whispering among themselves. Rain comes without warning, thin and cold, washing dust into streaks on skin and metal. For a moment, faces are clean again, almost unfamiliar. Some lift their heads to the sky, not in thanks, but in recognition. Even pain needs water. Mud grips the wheels, tries to slow the procession. The convoy does not fight it. Resistance would cost too much. Patience becomes the engine. A man tells a story to no one in particular. It drifts from seat to seat, changing shape, losing sharp edges, becoming safer to hold. Children collect small things, stones, buttons, bent wire, proof that the world still offers fragments that can be chosen, kept. At a bend in the road, they pass fresh tracks going the other way. No one asks who turned back. Some questions are better left unanswered. The air smells different here, less like smoke, more like wet soil and rust. Breathing feels slightly less borrowed. Night settles again, but this time it is quieter. Even the dark seems tired. Dreams come slower, linger longer. A woman presses her forehead against the window, leaves a faint mark, a temporary signature of presence. By morning, it will be gone. Morning arrives with birds unaware of borders. Their songs cut cleanly through the silence, an accidental gift. Someone smiles without permission. It surprises everyone, including the one who smiled. The expression fades, but the muscles remember. The convoy continues, not lighter, but steadier. Tears still travel with them, yet they no longer spill as easily. They have learned the weight of moving forward together. The road grows narrower, as if testing their resolve, as if asking who truly intends to pass. Vehicles draw closer, metal nearly touching metal, a shared pulse of motion. Voices return in pieces, short sentences, careful jokes, fragments of normality handled like fragile glass. An elder points toward the horizon, not claiming certainty, only direction. Sometimes that is enough to keep despair from sitting down. The convoy pauses once, not to rest, but to remember someone who did not make it this far. No marker is left behind. The earth already knows. Hands touch shoulders, eyes close briefly. Grief bows its head and allows the journey to resume. The sun climbs higher now, less shy than before. Heat presses down, drawing sweat, drawing truth. Everyone carries their life on the outside. Clothing fades, shoes crack, yet something invisible strengthens, a quiet agreement to endure without spectacle. A child falls asleep mid-sentence, words unfinished, hope suspended. An adult carries the sentence forward in silence. Fields open wide on either side, indifferent but vast. Space reminds them that the world is larger than what was lost. The convoy no longer feels like escape. It feels like passage, through something terrible toward something unnamed. No one speaks of arrival anymore. The word is too heavy, too sharp. They speak instead of tomorrow, and sometimes even next week. Tears still come. They always will. But now they fall without dragging the body down with them. They fall and the convoy moves on. The wind rises in the afternoon, carrying the scent of places not yet touched. It moves through open windows, through hair and cloth, as if counting the living. Someone hums again. Not the old song this time, but a new tune made from breathing, from tires on stone, from the rhythm of staying. Faces turn outward more often now. The horizon no longer feels like a threat. It is still unknown, but it no longer mocks them. A man repairs a loose strap with wire, hands steady from repetition. Survival teaches its own craftsmanship. Nothing learned here is wasted. The convoy passes a sign, its letters half erased. No one tries to read it. They have learned that names change, but roads remain. In the quiet moments, some begin to imagine rooms, walls without holes, floors that do not shake at night. The images are faint, but persistent. A woman braids her daughter's hair, fingers gentle, deliberate. Each strand becomes a promise spoken without sound. Shadows stretch longer now. Evening approaches carefully, as if not to startle them. The day releases its hold without resistance. There is talk of stopping soon. Not ending, just pausing. The difference matters. When they stop, the silence feels earned. Bodies unfold from seats. Spines remember they are human. Someone lights a small fire. No fear this time. Only warmth. Only light that stays. Stories emerge slowly, like animals testing the air. Laughter appears. Soft, cautious, but real. Above them, the sky opens wide, unburdened by memory. For a moment, everyone looks up at the same time. The convoy rests, gathered together in the dark, not healed, not finished, but alive, and still moving forward, even while standing still. Morning does not rush them awake. It arrives gently, like a hand resting on the shoulder instead of a command. Light spills across faces that have learned how to rise again. Ashes from the fire scatter easily, leaving almost no trace. The night was brief, but it mattered. Even rest, when scarce, leaves a mark inside. They move again, slower than before, as if savoring the act of motion itself. The convoy has grown quieter, not from fear, but from listening. Birds follow the road for a while, then veer away, free to choose another direction. No one envies them. Freedom, they have learned, comes in many shapes. A woman finds a mirror shard and studies her reflection. She recognizes herself, but differently, as one recognizes a survivor in a stranger's face. Scars are noticed now, not hidden. Each one tells the same story with different punctuation. Pain has many dialects, but one meaning. The road curves unexpectedly, revealing a valley wide and open. A breath moves through the convoy, not relief, but space. Sometimes space is enough. Children run briefly beside the vehicles, feet striking earth with laughter. Adults watch closely, half smiling, half afraid joy might trip and fall. The wind carries voices from far away, other lives, other journeys. The world has not emptied itself just because theirs was broken. Clouds gather again, but this time they are slow, unthreatening. Not every shadow announces disaster. This lesson arrives quietly. Someone begins to plan, not escape routes, but meals, days, ordinary things. Normality edges back without asking permission. The convoy does not know how far it has come. Distance is measured now in endurance, not miles. Even grief has changed its posture. It no longer blocks the road. It walks behind them, close enough to be felt, far enough to allow breath. Ahead, the road continues, still uncertain, still demanding, but it no longer feels endless. The convoy moves forward, carrying tears, yes, but also the quiet understanding that survival itself has become a form of hope. The air grows thinner as they climb, each breath deliberate, counted without numbers. Heights teach patience to those who cannot turn back. Engines strain, then settle into a deeper rhythm, like hearts learning a new pace. No one complains. Sound would feel wasteful here. A man steps out to walk beside his vehicle, hand brushing metal, as if reassurance can pass both ways. Movement feels earned on foot. Stones shift beneath their shoes, testing balance, testing trust. Every step forward is a small negotiation with gravity. From above, the convoy might look fragile, a thin line stitched across a vast body of land. From within, it feels unbreakable, held together by shared necessity. Clouds drift low enough to touch. Mist settles on faces, cool and cleansing. For a moment, everyone is anonymous again. Someone laughs at the strange mercy of it. Water falling from the sky without asking anything in return. The sound echoes briefly, then rests. At the crest, they stop. Not because they are told to, but because stopping feels right. The view opens wide, a long stretch of possibility. No one names its safety, no one dares, but the silence holds less fear. A woman closes her eyes and turns her face toward the wind. Her lips move, not prayer, not memory, just presence. On the descent, brakes squeal softly, careful not to rush what took so long to climb. Descent has its own dangers. The road smooths out again, welcoming, almost gentle. The land seems to soften in response. Somewhere ahead, smoke rises from a distant place. Not destruction, but cooking fires. The difference is felt instantly. Eyes linger there longer than necessary. Hope does not speak, but it has learned how to point. The convoy moves toward it, not as a promise, but as a direction chosen together.